You heard the ding, so it starts.
Ding, ding, ding.
So I bet I got 15 text messages today asking why this is the last preview. So this is my analogy. So you're watching TBS, you're on TNT, right? You're catching an old movie. What do you find? You see Rocky 2, you see Rocky 3, you see Rocky fighting a Russian. You never see Rocky 5. That's what you try and avoid in life. You try not to be Rocky 5. Think about Michael Jordan. Nobody thinks about the Washington Wizards, Michael Jordan. Nobody thinks about the San Diego Chiefs, Joe Montana. So what are we doing? We're going out on top. We want you guys to remember us when we're at our best. And really the truth of it is we're so dang busy now that this takes so much preparation for us to do that we can't put out a good product. So it's impossible. But we're riding off into the sunset Young Gun style. We're going to the spirit world.
They're in the spirit world, Chavez. They can't see us. Tommy Gunn was probably the most snubbed for an Oscar that I've ever seen.
I agree.
But we're not going to go down that road. It's a long road. I do have to admit, show you my new toy though.
90s wrestling movie quote check. We've already got it done. Check. It's knocked off.
Now we've got to talk about this. Look at this. So this is my new toy. So late at night when I'm done and I'm shutting down, I got to look this guy in the eye.
You get ankle picked.
And I got to know that dead stare right there that the mannequin's giving me. I got to know that I outworked him.
The way too buff David Taylor.
He's looking at me going, "Did you outwork me today?"
I mean, look at those cats.
I just leave it there. I just leave it there. He has got some baby deer legs. All right.
So here we go. We're going to run it down like we normally do. We're going to give us your take on the weight class.
Stupid pick.
It's not going to be, I don't know, kind of what we've normally done. Willie and CP have done an incredible job breaking that stuff down. If you're not listening to Flow Radio Live, you're crazy. It's the best stuff out there for wrestling right now. And, man, I try and digest everything. They're spot on with it. Their personalities play off of each other great. They'll make you laugh. Willie will make you want to punch him every now and then. It's great stuff.
It's by design.
So, oh, yeah.
That's by design.
Tune into those guys. They're doing a great job. So if you want a more straight-up breakdown, go check those guys out. We might go a little crazy with mine. I know 125. I had to do it in pencil. I had to throw away 6 sheets of paper. I had to do 125 in
killing
pencil.
The environment.
Man, it was.
You're killing me.
This is a crazy weight.
That's probably a small redwood tree.
I'll say how they did the seedings made this thing so impossible. I just started getting mad going through it.
I got mad. You know why? Because I realized I could have been a 2 seed this year.
You could have been.
I could have been 0-5,000. Losses don't matter, people.
You just got
losses don't matter.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I really
knock off one guy and just kick back and get pinned.
I really got into the math of it, and man, if you just steadily wrestle tier 3 and tier 4 guys and not some steady wins, you can get a pretty high seed. And that's the ones you see in there that are kind of weird, and you're like, man, I can't believe this guy got the 5 seed or the 7 seed or whatever it is. It's because it's based on math, and with math, there are hard rules and it's set, but there's also some strange things that happen. So, not a big fan of the algorithm they got rolling. There needs to be a minus for bad losses in there somewhere, and I think it evened out pretty well. But you can tell a lot of thought went into it. It's pretty complicated, and the process. I shouldn't say that. The process is good. I think it's great what they're trying to do, but they've got to redefine how they kind of find out the win in the matrix. I spent a good day on it, man, and nerded out way too hard on it. But
I understand the grids and the matrix now.
Yeah, I can explain it to you pretty easy. I'm not going to get into it now.
Because my head will explode and it will just go SpaghettiOs all over this backdrop.
But I like what they're doing. You just got to account for losses in there somewhere. So 125, you can go pull up the seeds. You see the rundown. If you've been watching wrestling, you know the tough guys. I don't have Alan Waters making the finals. And I think I'm one of the few guys that's that. I've actually, and it kind of goes a few different things. He wrestles some really tight matches. And when you wrestle really tight matches, he kind of relies on scoring on top a lot. You get knocked off somewhere. Plus, Dylan Peters is my dude, man, since he's been yoking guys up since last year. And I know it was a bad match, and you guys are going to say I'm crazy because he got measured in the duel. But I've got some Peters love. I also got to beat Delgado just because Delgado hasn't looked Delgado-ish to me. Delgado-ish. That's a pretty good verb. I might start using that more. So
define Delgado-ish.
Delgado-ish, that guy that just
Adjective, of course.
Whenever he's down, it's just you find a way to get it done. No matter what's stacked up against you. Let's go back to my Rocky movies. When he's facing the Russian, Rocky is Delgado-ish. No matter what happens, I'm almost going to talk myself into picking Delgado now because he's Rocky.
Unless you're wrestling Tomasello.
He's Rocky.
All right. He's Italian. Of course he is. The Italian Delgado. I like it. But you got to admit, Peters has got not a scary, but that's not a
brutal, man.
Roll through first round matchup. This is the match. Peters is that guy with the sledgehammer hitting the Gophers, the grown man at the arcade hitting the Gophers, and Terrell is just that whoop, 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 just popping around and Delgado. I mean, and Peters just can't smash him on the head.
I like Terrell. He's a fun guy to watch, but he opens himself way too much to wrestle a guy like Peters. I don't think that's really. I like what CP says. I don't really think that's a thing. He says that all the time. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. I don't think Peters Terrell's a thing. Peters Delgado's a thing. Peters Waters a thing. That whole top half of the bracket, man, it's crazy. I want to give some love to a Southern Conference guy, Sean Boyle. Great season. Got the 5th seed. That went over Gilman.
Great position in the bracket.
He beat the guys he was supposed to beat during the year and had some pretty good wins. That win over Gilman gave him a lot of points. Being a Tier 1 guy, I think that gives you like 5 points towards winning. I'm sorry, I'm getting too math for you. I'll slow down.
Yeah, easy.
And he's got a. I tell you, his first match to me is actually harder than his second. Scotty Parker's a tough draw there at the beginning. He's one of the better no seeds to me. He's had some good matches this year, and he's just a tough wrestler, good in all positions. I've been on the Tomasello train hardcore all season until Big Tens, and I might have got off the train. I might have jumped off. I picked him to win it ever since Vegas. I was picking Tomasello to win. I just
because he can't close out matches.
I don't know. It just doesn't. It's tightening up. Maybe a little freshman tightness. Needs to do some more yoga.
All right,
not that kind of tightness. But he's not attacking near as much as he used to, and that's very out of character for him. He flips that back around. I've still got my pass. I'm not completely out of the train station, but I'm not.
Well, I think you see with all guys, and it's probably more the younger guys this time of year, the guys that let it fly, that gets reeled back in a little bit, and that's the scary thing because if you change what got you there, sometimes bad things happen,
or maybe good things happen.
Maybe good things happen.
Which is the case. I'm not going to steal your thunder because you've been a fan of his since he was in like 8th grade. Joey Dance has opened it up big time.
Joey Dance,
dude, that guy's fun to watch now. I kind of knocked on him at the beginning of the year, not having a big.
You've been a Joey Dance hater since day one.
I can well document it on. I've not hated on Joey Dance. I've been a hater in some regards, but not on Joey Dance. Because he might start getting into.
You got him winning.
God bless him as a winner.
You got him winning NCAA title.
I do. I've got him winning NCAAs. It's right there on my bracket. I got him beating Garrett. I've got him beating Peters. I've got Joey Dance winning NCAAs.
That's pretty dadgum crazy. I've got Tomasello, Garrett final.
And dude, I'm with you on the Garrett thing. The only thing is I think he's cutting a lot of weight. And he's looked sluggish.
I would hope so because he is as big as me.
He's looked sluggish in some matches. And you've seen it happen. You've seen him happen in those semifinals before, right after that weigh-in, come out a little bit sluggish. That's why I picked Dance over Garrett. I think Garrett's the best guy in the weight. If you put him out in the wrestling room and let him scrap, Nashawn's the best guy. But unfortunately, you don't wrestle in the wrestling room.
Shout out to Josh Martinez. We've talked about him for a long time. He's a guy that one of these guys might sleep on him. He might mix up that top little quadrant there.
Who you got, Gilman or Conaway? That's the match I'm looking forward to the most.
When I first looked at this bracket, I kind of almost said Conaway could be in the quarterfinals, and hey, he's got what it takes to beat Dance. So you could see Conaway as far as the semis when I first looked at this bracket. But I'm gonna save my craziness for later on.
Yeah, I picked Conaway there, and then I got Gilman coming back through. So all Americans in this weight, I got Peters, Dance, not in this order, Conaway, Gilman, Garrett, and Tomasello, and Boyle and Clamara. Those are the guys I got placing.
Team-wise, Alan Waters has to make the finals. There are 3 big horses.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think any team is in that place except Cornell. Cornell, and
Well, I was
granted,
gonna say that too.
it's a way outside shot for Cornell to win.
Their horses all have to make it.
I don't think any team is in that boat where their horses have to make it. I don't think this is a horse boat race. Can I say that?
Horse boat race, of course.
It's not a horse boat race.
People go to that every weekend.
Sure, it's not a horse boat. I really think it's.
Where do you like to go watch horse boat racing?
I think it's those under the radar guys, the guy that nobody's focusing on is going to win NCAAs for a team.
All right.
I'll let you start off talking about 133.
Hey, Team Smash Face. I've loved this guy since day one. As much as it broke my heart last year to watch one of the Dardanes brothers go down to Joey Dance. I mean, not Joey Dance, Joey Laser. But I'll tell you, man, he's one of those guys that hadn't changed what he does. What got him there is just being unbelievable, attacking from every position, kitchen sink in every single match. I know you're probably going to have it playing out a different way, but I don't see Dardanes not. I don't like saying the guys do. I like saying that it's time, but Dardanes gets it done in the finals. But I will tell you, man, somebody who I've loved for a long time, I think might just crush this whole bottom bracket and have an unbelievable tournament. I'm calling Dardanes Earl Hall final.
I almost picked that. I've got Hall beating Clark in the quarters.
On the seat of train, son.
I have Hall over Clark in the quarters, and I almost picked him over Taylor in the bottom half of that bracket. That bottom half's crazy. That could end up 900 different ways to Sunday. Merry Christmas, Corey Clark. Man, the bracket gods came down. Not that he really cares. He thinks he's going to win the whole thing no matter where you put him. But that bottom half of the bracket is weak sauce compared to the top, and it's 133, so it's all tough. But that top half is ridiculous. I do not, as much as I would love to see Dardanes win it, because I love the way those guys wrestle in an era where guys wrestles close to the vest and don't take a lot of shots and chances and risks. They stay true to what they do, what you said, beat on the head, pull on the head, circle, blast you in your chest with their head and run you off the mat. I want to see them win, but I almost picked Kevin DeVoy over Dardanes.
We talked about him last year, had an unbelievable conference. Just came through conference tough as nails, and man.
He's flat out good this year. I've seen him wrestle a good bit, and Dardanes has kind of fixed his problems on bottom, but I don't know, man. I just can't pick Dardanes to win it. I've got Zane Richards winning. I've got him going through a crazy half of his bracket, beating DiCamillo, which is not. I mean, he could lose that match, and I'll be like, okay, I get it. Then I've got him beating JDJ in the quarters, and then I got him beating Dardanes in the semis. A little bit on. I think Richards is really good, and he's had those big high spots. And just, man, he can neutralize a lot of offense with his underhooks. He's pretty tough in there.
Illinois qualifying 10, man.
But also, yeah, watch out for Illinois in the future, by the way. But also, Dardanes always has that match in NCAAs where you kind of go,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Let's not talk about that.
Look,
let's not talk about that.
I did that a lot in my brackets. A lot of guys don't think about what's happened in the past and what they did before. I take that into account a lot. If you've kind of had a shaky NCAAs, I'll take that into account. The bottom half of the consolations, the way things end up with DiCamillo and Brewer and Gulabon and Shop and Clark.
Oh man,
Brewer. It gets pretty rough.
Brewer, who did you piss off? Man.
You know, because I think I had Brewer getting upset somewhere in there. No, I didn't.
Yeah, winnable matches though. I mean, everybody was complaining about his seed. I mean, no offense to DeJulius, but I mean, DeJulius wrestles those close matches for the most part. I mean, Brewer's a guy that can beat DeJulius and be in the quarterfinals. So I mean,
if I had to wrestle one guy every day, or if I would hate it if I had to wrestle Johnny DeJulius every day. I don't know how you beat that guy. When I'm doing game plans, I'm pretty good at coming up with game plans. I don't know what you do. You just cut off your arm, like right up here. You just cut them off. You just
sideways. Tap! Right in left kneecap.
You go in there, opposite of.
Not advocating violence. Just shooting Johnny DeJulius in the kneecap. I can say that because I know Johnny DeJulius.
He's got rubber knees. It would come back and hit you. It's bam! Hit you in the knee.
So, you have Logan Stever not placing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Other Stever. I don't think I have him placing. I don't know. I can't remember. I have to go look. 141. I thought it was going to be a lot of craziness. The only thing that I really struggled with was Anthony Abbott being the 9 seed and just gets back in the wrestlebacks. And I had to make a lot of hard choices. Him and Makate hitting, I've got him in 2 rounds before the blood, or 1 round before the blood round, console quarters. I don't know. Gerard always asks, I text him and ask him what those rounds are. But him being that low seed it made it tough on me. Other than that, I think I'm pretty stock on my picks. Willie picked Ashnault to be in the finals. I have Haran beating him 2nd round. Then I've got Haran coming back through and placing. I think he got 8. Then I got Ashnault beating him 7th and 8th. But other than that, I'm pretty stock on a lot of my picks. I don't have a lot of big upsets.
Haran's one of those guys that just wrestles super, super close and doesn't do a ton. I don't want to talk on top of you, but I think Ashnault, I don't think he beats Ashnault.
Just the only thing I see people consistently get in on Haran with is high crotches. And Ashnault is a ton of single legs. And not only is Haran's scramble ability from a single ridiculous, his baseline's really good too. I just don't know if he's a guy that you can have a high level of success singling. Granted, Ashnault's got one of the better single legs in the country. So it kind of matches strengths. Who's going to be better? Single leg finish going to be better. Single leg defense going to be better. I do have one upset. I got Joey Ward beating Josh Jeva in the 2nd round from UNC.
That wouldn't completely shock me.
I like the way that guy wrestles, man. Not to mention, how about a phenomenal coaching job by that whole staff this year. Program 180. I really enjoyed watching them wrestle, man. And that was in the past some guys that I wouldn't tune into a whole lot.
Well, I think
they scrap.
That's what I was about to say. I think this year, the difference between this year and last year is that extra in a match. You watched them last year, and it was just like, if they would have put in that extra in a match, they were losing those matches. This year, they got to go get points. They go get them. And I agree with you. That's built in the room. That's been a pretty big turnaround.
I mean, kind of an upset, but not really to me. I got Dardanes over Mays in the quarters. And then watch out for Longo and Mays hitting in the wrestlebacks. Give App State some love here. Mikey Longo is exciting to watch.
Wild card cat.
You talk about explosive. I got that guy doing some good stuff. All the way to the blood round. I scratched him. I had Longo picked, and then I scratched him out, and then I picked Mays, and then I scratched it out, and then I picked Longo, and then I scratched it out, and I picked Mays. Carter Dardanes, 3rd and 4th place, could be a final.
I mean, Mays is a couple seconds away from not even getting out of conference, right? Was he a last-second takedown from getting into? Yeah. I mean, he might have been in on a wild card anyway.
Oh, for sure, he would have. And the seed wouldn't have changed either.
Yeah,
losses don't matter.
Losses don't matter, right? But
the seed wouldn't have changed.
I will say this: scary 1st-round matchup. Speezy, Joe Spizak. That kid's tough to score on now. I will say this: Mays can attack from outside and run a truck through anybody, but that's not a guy I want to be drawing 1st round as a 3 seed.
Spizak's got some crazy feet, but if Mays gets time and Spizak's head hands defense. I said head hands defense.
No, stop it. We got to start over. You said head hands defense.
That's like my biggest pet peeve on Big Ten Network, too. They say it every duel.
You've been watching it too much, and they've brainwashed
Pete
you.
Yates taught head hands defense tonight. It's Pete's fault. I blame it all on Pete Yates.
Pete Yates.
Blame it all on him. Phenomenal head hand defense technique, but
let's
I blame it
call
on him.
it.
First line of defense.
What do you call these? Cabeza and not phalanges. What are these? We'll call it that. We'll just make it Spanish so it doesn't sound so terrible.
It's been too long for my Spanish.
All right, man. Can I say this?
I'm going to say it because I've been known to be a heavyweight hater, and I always rose pedal the heavyweights. I'm rose pedal 149. I'm rose pedal. Travis Gerard had the best suggestion ever, and this really isn't to hate on it because there's some phenomenal wrestlers in here, but they don't score a whole lot. He said just start it in overtime. Not even the neutral overtime. Start it in the right-out overtime.
And well, it's going to be that way for
so many of these
several of Drake's
are
matches.
Going to be so many close matches, and a lot of it's because it is pretty tight knit, and just there's a bunch of guys that don't score a whole lot. That's just the way the weight broke down.
Going down the list, and I'm saying with all due respect, there's not a lot of highlight reel material between a lot of these guys.
David Habits, he scores points in this weight. I got him going to the finals just because of that. I shouldn't say just because of that, because he's a stud. I got him beating Steber in the second round. I just don't think Hunter's healthy enough to beat a guy like Habit. Watching him drop those matches at Big Tens.
And it's just like he's wrestling to survive. It's not. And I almost feel bad for him out there. You almost feel bad for the kid out there.
I do feel very bad. I know how it is to be kind of banged up at the end of your career. So I don't kind of feel bad. I feel very bad for him. And, man, I really pull for him to have a great tournament come through and do some big stuff. But I'm telling you, man, I am putting Ohio State's national championship on Steber, and not because of team points. That's not the reason I'm saying that. Hunter Steber goes out there and scraps and competes hard and wins some matches.
Set the tone.
Because of his injury, probably shouldn't win. That's going to spread throughout the whole team. And then you might start seeing Mark Martin win a match or two that he shouldn't win. Maybe Kenny Courts wins a match or two. By the way, his side of the bracket just brutal. But maybe you see some of those guys start picking up some matches, and you don't know, man. It's going to be something like that wins a team race this year, because if anybody tells you they know who's winning the team race, they lie.
I would bet somebody $10,000 that they can't pick every champ in the team champ.
It would be. This is the hardest year to do.
You could get it right 11 straight rights, red check marks, 10 grand.
So getting into 149.
I don't have 10 grand, but I'm just saying.
I picked how I can't help you with that either.
I got 10 grand in doll hairs.
Yeah, I might have $10,000 in yen. I don't think that's very much.
That might
pesos.
be $8.
Pesos. I got 10,000 pesos.
Let's pull up the exchange rates.
Your phone will do that, by the way. iPhone does some crazy things. Anyway, I got How to Show winning the weight. I love the way this guy works. He's a grinder, man. I liked him a little more last year when he was a little bit more open and tried to score more on his feet. The dude's just a monster on top, and I think he's due. I got him, Sorensen, Habit, and Xerxes in the semis. How to Show beating Sorensen, of course. I got Habit beating Xerxes on a 3-7-9 overtimes, however many they want to go. And then I got How to Show winning it. And all that, guys can see it. This is the crazy thing in my bracket, which, by the way, I'm mad about this. This is when I started getting upset at the brackets. I got Josh Kindig getting third and losing first round.
I hope he can stay together that long, man. I know for him it wouldn't be a win, but if he gets third, that's a win for him, because, dang, that'd be a lot of matches. That'd be a lot of matches.
He would go through, in my bracket, he would go through Ream, Rugarello, Cobb, Villalonga, which I expect him to do all those.
He can't go through Villalonga, because Villalonga's making the finals.
No, he's not.
I got him in the finals.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. One guy I do want to watch that I hadn't seen a lot is the Arizona State boy. I shouldn't say boy, grown man, Pagdilio, however you say his name. Great record this year. I've only seen him wrestle once. So he's a guy I've got highlighted in my bracket. I want to make sure I check him out. He's going to hit Mastriani probably in that second round, which depends on which Mastriani shows up, the guy that finishes his high crotches or the guy that doesn't finish his high crotches. If it's the guy that finishes his high crotches, he's dangerous. If it's not, he will give you 950,000 go behind points.
Right. And got a lot of attention going, not having a good conference at all and getting the 7th seed, but we've talked about that before. I'll tell you, I've become a huge Kindig fan. I'm just doing this on pure fandom. I think he makes the finals. It's going to be unbelievable run if he does, because I think he's pretty banged up from what I've been hearing. But I mean, to me, I don't think Hoshell hits too much trouble coming through on the top side. I really don't.
The big match to me is going to be 354. That quarter between, I got Bites and Sorensen in there. I almost picked Bites. You can see I scratched him out. I really wanted to pick Bites.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. I like the way that guy wrestles, especially if he gets guys stepping and pulling. He's got really good picks, and that's just something that's hard to defend. Sorensen's probably the best defensive wrestler in the country as far as finishing high crotches and single legs. That might be a little bit of hyperbole, but he's close to it. He's one of the best defensive wrestlers in the country. I can say that. Finishing high crotches and singles on, Ankle pick's a whole different animal. So style-wise, I think Bites is the guy that can knock Sorensen off. I ended up taking Sorensen when I really thought about it. Part of it was to keep the team race really close. If Sorensen goes down there, it's going to be hard for Iowa to catch Minnesota, who I might be leaning towards winning. I haven't decided yet. I'll decide
Minnesota women?
I'll decide at the end. I'll decide
I said Minnesota women.
But I got Bites coming back through and placing. I got him placing 7th in my bracket.
Bites is going to surprise you.
6th in my bracket. No, I'm a huge fan. Like the way that dude scraps.
Without a doubt.
Martinez wins. It's done. And he might just knuckle it.
Man,
he might just knuckle the
well documented Gator Bacon. This guy founded the Gator Bacon fan club. Invented the word Gator Bacon.
Kevin Thompson actually invented it. Shout out.
We are
Coker wrestler, Georgia boy.
Dude, hold the phone. Come back.
I threw my bracket away. I can't come back.
Ryan Mosley. 149.
Yeah, for sure.
CMP fam.
Love that dude.
Love that dude.
Heavy.
Can't talk enough about what this guy's done with his life through wrestling. Gardner Webb. NCAA qualifier, man. Gonna enjoy watching this cat strap up.
You're gonna see some big things out of him, and he's one of those guys. The bigger the match gets, the better he wrestles.
And that's his own world, man.
Dude,
that's his own world.
You know, now that you say that, I really haven't put it together, but he's one of the mentally the toughest kids I've been around. He is just. He's one of the few guys that can will himself to win some matches just because he's just going to win.
He's the baddest man in the room all the time.
He is going to win. So back to 157. I'm glad you caught that. Give Mosley some love, man.
Absolutely,
he works hard, and he's had a really good year too.
Unbelievable year.
So Isaiah Martinez, like I said, I think he knuckles the bracket. And everybody talks about Green being the only guy that can beat him. Yeah, white powder. I don't think Green's the guy that gives him the tough match. I really think Robuto, who I've got coming through on the other side, gives him the style-wise the toughest match. But again, I just don't know if anybody's willing to put in the risk and the output that Isaiah Martinez is. You know who he reminds me of in a completely different way is the guy sitting on the back of your computer right now, David Taylor, because you got to be willing to score about 12 points to beat him.
You're right.
I know him and Green had a close match early in the year.
He's going to score at least 12 on everybody he wrestles.
But ever since then, he just seems to be a different monster, and he just goes out there and says, "See if you can beat me, my man." And hope we start seeing
Martinez. I mean, LaValle Bruschetta is a pretty crazy first-round matchup.
Dude, talk about the draw from Bruschetta, by the way. Phenomenal place in the bracket for him. I've got him going to the quarters.
Martinez, LaValle Bruschetta, Pack, Parati, Green in the top half of the bracket. The thing about it is every year I'm like, NCAA is crazy. I know that. And then I sit down and look at the talent in all these brackets, and I'm just like, what?
I'm glad I'm 32 years old.
God's beautiful green planet.
I'm glad I'm 32 years old and don't have to think about winning these things anymore because my body hurts just thinking about it.
Holy smokes.
What am I doing?
You're taking a nap.
I'm taking a nap. I'm sleeping, and that's what everybody in the country's doing on Ian Miller. Don't sleep.
I said something about that earlier.
Miller. Don't sleep on him. That dude.
Unless he puts himself to sleep, which he's prone to do.
He don't care, man. His go-behinds are inside trips. His single legs are boot scoots. That guy is capable of beating anybody at any time. Go back and look at the scuffle match. Still in Ness. Wham! Slams a cradle on, and Ness thought he was going to roll it through, and he put the crazy Ohio backwood country Miller squeeze on.
A huck-a-buck.
Which, by the way, I hope I get to see. I hope Papa Miller's there. One of the most memorable dinners of my life, hearing that guy tell stories.
If you haven't met Zeb Miller's dad, buy a ticket to the guy's Vegas stand-up show. It is comical.
It is a good time.
Every time I'm in Ohio, I get some time with the FaceTime with the Miller family. Unbelievable.
So good. Then I got a great third place match I'm looking forward to, Ness and Green. I tell you, the semifinals, man, 157 semifinals, about as excited as I'll be for NCAAs. Martinez Green, Ness Robuto. It doesn't get any better than that. I can't wait to see Miller Robuto. Talk about some fireworks.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great styles matchup. You know, and everybody's talking about, I mean, the more people I've talked to, the more people say Ohio State's gonna win, you know, the team title. And we're talking about guys that are got to do their job or maybe wrestle above their seed. You know, Josh Demas is one of those guys. But, dude, watching his little brother at Ohio State's wrestle this weekend, holy smokes.
But if you remember back when Josh was in high school, he did the exact same thing.
Holy
He was super ducks,
smokes.
inside
Dom
trips.
Demas was just, holy smokes.
Josh was the same way back in high school. Flat drops all over the place.
You're
so
right.
much fun to
You're
watch.
right.
And now he is the most active non-scoring wrestler in the tournament. Dude will take some shot fakes, though. Count them. It makes me tired watching.
Team smash face.
Not too
Brian
many
Murphy.
shots. Brian Murphy's tough. I like that guy.
He's a quarterfinal. I think he's a quarterfinalist, but we'll see.
But team race wise, Kelly or Demas, one of those going to hit Ian Miller coming back through the wrestlebacks, and then their tournament's over.
Yeah.
My opinion.
You think this is the most lock weight?
Lock it. Done. Bag it and tag it, as Willie said.
Bag
it and tag
it.
it. Ringers.
Slap it on the booty and send it out.
Ringer's not losing. I just don't see anybody in this weight that can beat him or come close to beating him. He might bonus his way through.
Little Tanya Harding action.
Just
little,
kneecaps.
just now they got those like things that you like. They didn't have the ones that like came out like the cops, like you do like that and it goes rat, and then you can pat, 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 and then put it back down and put it in your pocket and be like, what? It's an antenna from my phone. And nobody even says anything. And
10 more years, it's just going to be a lightsaber. And they're just going to cut your leg off. But they'll be able to stitch it back.
Why is Derringer in the back with no legs? What happened?
So I've got him running through match everybody's talking about, Jordan Solzer. I got a different take on that. And to me, Bo Jordan probably grew up kind of looking at Solzer wrestle in Ohio at St. Ed's, St. Paris Graham guy. So there might be a little bit of maybe big brotherism there, possibly. So sometimes that's hard to get over. So I got Solzer winning that one on the mind game and the wrestling game too. Solzer's going to end up getting third and having one of the best NCAA careers that I can remember in a while without getting a title.
Yeah, I mean, Solzer's just been nothing but rock solid. You talk about a guy that's been solid every single season.
Scores a lot, fun to watch. One of my favorite guys to watch.
Man. I mean, Harger.
I catch those Solzer matches.
Harger, Moore, that's one of those things. Moore and Kelly. I don't think they have to have unbelievable tournaments for Iowa to stay in the race, but I will say this, man. Michael Moreno, he can score points. But I'll tell you, a guy like Harger.
Who do I have winning? Ramos Moreno.
You got Ramos over Moreno. That's your bracket, dog. You called it.
Ramos got good leg defense.
Yep, and that's what I was about to say. Moreno's great at killing period on top, scoring, but he starts running into Harger. That's gonna be a tricky matchup for him. Gonna have to put some points on the board in that one because Harger is solid. Coming forward, scoring. I don't know if I like that style matchup if I'm a number 2 seed. Don't know if I like that at all. But I'll tell you, man, Isaac Jordan's wrestling great, dude. I don't know about that.
But he might run into this.
Ah! You're right about that. Oh man, Walsh. I'd love to see Walsh just freight train that bottom half of the bracket and make it to the big blue mat in the finals, man. Because that match is going to be ridiculously entertaining.
Yeah, and he's just, if you wrestle him in the NCAA finals, I don't know if anybody's got the stones to really have to take the risk you're going to have to take to beat him. Yep. He would be a dangerous man in the NCAA finals, but then again, he would be wrestling Derringer, and you better bring
a little bit different.
You better bring a 2-gauge shotgun to beat him.
But the Walsh family's unbelievable family. Their dad's awesome, and his brother's wrestling in this tournament, qualified for Ryder, which I think is awesome. Dude, if I had my 2 boys wrestling an NCAA tournament at the same time, I probably would just walk around with like my shirt off, with my back painted, with my boys' names on it and like their school mascots or something like that. Just let everybody know.
If I had 2 boys wrestling the NCAA tournament at the same time, I'd have some serious questions to answer. That's all I'm saying.
You're right, son. You're right.
Serious questions.
It can happen.
Whew, 174 is a hot mess. This is the bracket I've struggled with the most filling it out. One, because you have that 4 guys that just flip a coin because that's really what it comes down to. But you got some style matchups in there that are tough to pick. Kokish Butler, that's not as one-sided as everybody thinks. Butler wrestled him super tough at Vegas, I think it was. So I really hope that happens. I hope Butler comes through. I got him beating Crutchmer and then Eblin in the quarters. I don't think Eblin Weatherman's as good as a lot of people are making it out to be, but I do have Kokish going through. I'm interested to see how him and Cody Walters go. Walters is just a weird style matchup for anybody.
You got upper weight.
You got to be willing to scramble to go with him.
Yep.
And that's something that might be the only thing that Kokish isn't great at. I think he's great every
I
well.
watch him wrestle that he actually won a couple scrambles, and
I'm not saying he can't scramble, but if I had to pick one thing that Kokish maybe have a deficit in, it would be scrambling. And it's still not a deficit. He's just not great at it. He's great everywhere else. Great ham fighter, great leg attacks, great on bottom, will tear your arms off on top.
And beat you with them.
But it's just pretty good.
Nose.
Just a pretty good scrambler. So I definitely think Kokish takes care of business, but I'm a Walters fan. I got to hang out with him one summer. Just an awesome kid, man. Another one of those guys that really believes in himself. And he kind of got a bad beat, in my opinion, getting the 9 seed. That's why I put out that tweet. I take all the 9 seeds in this bracket and have a heck of a team.
Latham Eblin, I don't think is a roll through 4th seed first round matchup.
Eblin's better than I thought when I went back and watched.
Yeah, I got to watch him a pretty good bit at the Southern Scuffle, but
he's better than
man, if you let Latham put his hands on you, you gonna feel it. You gonna feel it. He's got concrete in his hands. Tyler Wilkes being the 8th seed's pretty crazy here. But man, I think you're going to see a Storley Epperly semifinal. I would love to see that.
You got them beating Brown? No way. I got Brown winning the whole thing. Matt Brown,
beat him before.
From what I've heard, one of the nicest, hardest working guys. I know you're right about that. Hardest working guys I've seen. Started picking up his attacks a little bit more, which has only been my knock on him, that he doesn't shoot a whole lot. He will make your neck turn all shades of Christmas time red. But he's picked up that single leg a little bit more, and just seems to not be doing that Matt Brown thing where he found a way to lose matches.
Right.
And like I said, man, I've heard so many good things about him. I'm pulling for that guy, but Kokish is the same way. There's so many good guys.
28 years old too.
I'm going.
He's mature.
I'm going Matt Brown.
I mean, I can see that.
Who you got, Evans or Storley? Talk about a great match, team race wise. That's what the team. The team race might come down to that.
Who do I want to see win, or who do I think is going to win? I thought it was a great, and I'm going to put this all on Gerard because he's the biggest Iowa homer ever. He said Evans has scored 12 points in his last 6 matches. That's something I would never know. That's not a lot of points.
Dude, he got 30 Big Tens and didn't score a takedown. I don't know how you do that.
That's not a lot of points for 12 matches.
How do you do that?
What has Isaiah Martinez scored in his last 6 matches? Probably 120 points.
Yeah.
But man, I'm a huge Storley fan. I mean, dude just wings half of his match, good technique the other half of his match, and it all kind of meshes together and ends up being a successful wrestler. I love to see Storley.
You know what I hope? I hope Storley keeps wrestling and gets on the Olympic circuit, because I think he's one of those guys when some of this pressure goes away, through the roof. Talent, he might be. He's like one of the most
Clayton Foster type guy.
Yes,
he's got a weird style.
Great call on the Clayton Foster. I could see him being a lot like that. Just incredible talent, great athlete. He's one of the biggest talents in the tournament, man. I've got him making the semis. I got him beating Evans, but I kind of tossed it up between him and Brown. Logan Ashton, shout out to one of my kids that I train up in Buford, who probably follows wrestling as much as anybody in the country. He picked Logan Storley to win it and almost convinced me of it. But you'll see that my expert picks. Those are actually Logan Ashton's picks. He's smarter than me on some of those things.
Smart little cat.
Yeah. Little
cat. We're going on to 84?
Oh, I got Walters placing 4th too. Give him some more love. Yeah, back on 84.
Ohio U.
I didn't
even, man. I'm not giving my fantasy team guys shout outs. I'm a terrible person, but whatever.
Speaking of dropping the ball, I dropped the ball. I just got way too busy this year. Way too busy.
I'm still scoring my team on my own. Half our league just like went burp. And I just score my team and just cheer for myself in the dark at night.
I thought this year I was going to be less busy than I was last year. I'm twice as busy. Twice as busy.
Success, Ropewell. It's all that success. Gabe Dean.
I just have a disease. That's all it is.
Yep. Well, keep that to yourself.
Please. Need more cowbell.
Please keep that to yourself. I'll tell you, ever since Was it Reno? It wasn't Vegas. It was Reno. I kind of jumped on the Nolan Boyd bandwagon, and then I got to see the Jekyll and Hyde Nolan Boyd at the scuffle. So I still got my ticket like Rope does, but I got one foot on the step when it's leaving the station. I think Boyd can make some noise up here in this top half, or bottom half, top quadrant.
I've got him losing first round to Weatherspoon.
All right. Well, that's. But I mean,
then I got him losing second round of the wrestle match.
You got him 0-2 barbecue.
I got him 1-2 barbecue.
1-2 barbecue.
He got a hot dog at least.
Yeah. What was the cheesesteak in Philly? We gotta go.
Jimmy Chun.
Yeah. Oh man, Jimmy Chun. If you're refereeing at this NCAA's,
it was
your boy's there.
It was
confirmed. Your boy is an NCAA ref.
He was there last year.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not going to talk about
me
that.
and this guy butt heads sometimes, like every time. But anyway,
a lot of people calling for Decal over Dean. It's
going to be a good match.
It's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great match.
You know why?
Because Coach Martin will at some point come out on the mat and do something crazy.
I would give you a great chance to just go foul, and you just drop the ball. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. We're going to
domesticate.
We're going to be Rocky 5 soon. That's why we got to get out. We're like on Rocky 4.5. You don't want to be Rocky 5.
My brain is.
What does Dean like to do? Get on that head, punches underhook. What is Decal great at? Inside reach, coming off that elbow. I'm not scouting, guys. Everybody watches matches now, so that's why it's going to be a good style matchup. It's who's going to find the points. Does Dean get to his underhook snap single, his go behinds, or does Decal inside reach him to death? They're both about the same on the mat. I give a slight nod to Dean for his top ride. If you go to your belly on Gabe Dean, you're flirting with disaster. He'll tell you legs off.
Tell you legs off or your arms off?
Legs.
All right.
Just outside leg ride.
That would be
cam opener.
Cam opener. After Cam Simas.
One of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Cam Simas doing right now.
Something smart.
Yeah, making a lot of money.
I got a slight upset in here. I've got Hayden Zilmer making it to the semis. I got him beating Stauffer. You turned me on to Zilmer a long, long time ago, back Fargo days. I've been watching that guy ever since. He's had a great year this year. Actually has a win over Dean and that kind of hiccup Dean had. But I've got him beating Stauffer in the semis.
Long cat.
Yeah.
He won Fargo his second cadet year, 98 pounds. 98, not 198 pounds, 98 pounds. He's 184 now.
And talk about just getting murdered on his draw. Willie Miklas, I just don't see any way he can All-American. There's two.
As much of a case as you can make for Missouri actually running the seed meeting, this is one where they took a bathroom break and let somebody else run that way.
I've been on record saying Willie Miklas has to All-American for them to win national tournament, and I just don't see any way he can, so I don't.
So you just telling Coach Stan, hey, don't even.
I've been picking Missouri.
Give your team that speech.
I've been picking Missouri all year to win it, and now I don't think they can.
I picked Missouri to win the scuffle.
And they didn't.
They didn't. So I'm not going to pick them again because I'm afraid I'm going to jinx them. I'm not going to pick anybody.
I had them winning it, and now I don't. But I think they're a little bit in the Iowa boat. I kind of get skewed on how good they are because they're an unbelievable dual team. Same thing with Iowa. Unbelievable dual team. Tournament team, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if there's really a great tournament team. Ohio State's probably a good tournament team, especially if Hunter's healthy. But anyway. All right, I'm gonna have to shoot from my hip the last two. I don't have my bracket filled out yet. Ran into practice time, didn't quite get it done. But I know where I'm going with this. I got Jaden Cox rolling through the top, not in as much dominant fashion as I thought it was going to be. I thought he was going to be the next big superstar, Stieber type guy, scoring crazy points this year. And it just hasn't happened. But I suspect, and I have no inside information on this, I think we might see a redshirt year out of Cox and him moving up to heavyweight. I think he might be pulling a little bit of weight.
Well, you saw that at the All-Star Classic.
He looks like a big Panzer tank when he rolls out on that. He's so big.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that. I mean, obviously a lot of those guys first time down to weight, but man, you want a guy like Schiller to go out on top. I think that's going to be.
I got Schiller making the semis.
Yeah, that's going to be. That's going to be. Dude, the quarters rolling into the semis, rolling into the finals. I mean, if whoever comes out of that bottom top part, I mean, doggone. I remember last year just watching. I mean, I know that's a different weight. Watching just Kokish's face was literally like hanging off in the console rounds. It was crazy, man.
And he did that warming up with himself. He did that shadow wrestling.
Yeah,
that's how physical Kokish is. He gave himself black eyes.
And fighting with himself, and his face is melting off. It's just the physicalness that they're going to have to go through. I mean, and I saw Timmy McCall in the bracket, and I could have sworn that guy graduated 6 years ago. It seems like Timmy McCall has been wrestling at Wisconsin.
I'm jealous of Timmy McCall's build, by the way.
Oh, please believe it.
North Carolina boy.
Please believe it. If Kyle Snyder,
I wish my thighs looked like that for just one day.
I will say this.
That's kind of weird, but it's
I'm gonna. What do you footnote it or asterisk it or whatever? Something you want people to know. If Kyle Snyder rolls in to St. Louis with a Stieber-esque tan, don't even body any way in. Don't nobody even weigh in. 197, he's done.
Can he compete with Morgan McIntosh's natural complexion though?
I got Morgan McIntosh winning the whole thing.
Dude, Morgan McIntosh looks like back to high school Calvary Chapel days.
Flip the switch.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know what it is.
Shout out to Jacob Harmon. Always got to give Harmon a shout out. Rafael Dos Anjos murdered Pettis the other night. I don't want to get off on an MMA tangent, but for a guy who's transformed his fighting career and learned that much wrestling, Jacob Harmon doing it all over the place, putting D1 guys out, legit D1 guys, national champion threats.
You want to talk about feeling like a little kid? I'm about to get off on a little tangent here since you brought up Jacob Harmon. Go shake his hand.
Oh.
And I feel like a little child. I shake it. And it's not just big. Dude, his hand's not just big. It's like,
it's thick. Yeah. It's like an encyclopedia thick.
Can you imagine hand fighting with him for 5 seconds?
He grabbed me last summer and I literally went fetal. Like I was getting beat by a wild band of like gang members. I was just in the fetal position. It was just me and him in the room. Scared me. I mean, but Morgan McIntosh made me feel that way too, but neither here nor there. I got McIntosh winning it. I just, like I said, not just seeing that guy do this the whole season. And like you said, he's back to when he was just, can anybody beat this guy in college? When he was wrestling in high school, it was like, dude, this guy's literally putting crazy points on the board.
Kind of flip that switch, it seems to me. I got him winning it. I'll give you some love here, Ropewell. You turned me on to Alex Polizzi. I think he kind of wrecks this bracket up a little bit.
Dude, and Brandon from New Jersey's all over him too now. He was posting about Polizzi always. I'll say this.
I got to beat Burak there in the second round.
Polizzi can beat anybody in this bracket,
including
minus one mistake a match.
Yep.
It's always right in there. One tiny mistake, doggone it. If he can minimize mistakes, no telling what this guy can do. Crazy hair, crazy pace, craziness.
Fun to watch. As you can tell, I've been siding a lot with the guys that go out there and score points just because I really hope wrestling, I'm not going to get off on a rule change tangent because I can go for about 6 days on that. We got to change some stinking rules. We got to. This sport, man, it's turned into golf. Whoever scores the least wins.
Golf has their own channel.
That's true. We got flow, though.
Yeah, we do. We do have flow.
Heavyweight, awesome weight this year. Been awesome weight for the last several years.
Crazy weight.
Actually, some guys in here that like to score points. You got Medberry, Gwizdowski, McMullen. I wish we could just go round robin with those three guys. See who comes out top.
Ridiculous.
I've got Gwizdowski. I picked him last year. I'm going to pick him again this year. Dude scores points. He's great on top. And he just seems to be a winner now. He finds a way to win those tight matches. I've got Adam Kuhn coming out of the bottom half, was a little bit different than most guys. I got him winning over Terrellford. It's just those are two big, gigantic people wrestling on the mat. I'll hear them shake.
Big guys in here.
Way up in the stands where I'm watching from. I'll feel the ground shake with Telford and Kuhn wrestling.
He's going out gutting people. Do you see that video?
No.
He's talking about that's his job is to go out.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
I just go out and gut people for the university. I got a job with the University of Iowa, and that's to go out and gut people.
That's country right there. I like
Love it.
I like it.
I don't think he said. I didn't quote him. I'm sure that it was said a different way, but he did.
No, I remember seeing gut.
He did say he was going to gut somebody,
something,
but it wasn't the
like
fashion.
that.
I said, let me take that off because he's gigantic.
Yeah,
I'm going to see him in the hallway somewhere.
I don't think he had the country accent.
It's going to be.
Just how many times can I spike this little ball dude into the ground?
Oh man, that's gonna sting.
Looking forward to watching McMullen scrap. That guy's fun to watch. Another guy that's fun to watch. I got it in a quarterfinals match. This is one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most. Blaze Cobble, Mike McMullen. You're gonna see some shots fired in that match. Talk about two great leg attacks. Blaze Cobble, phenomenal single leg. McMullen's got great little stuff.
Build.
Yeah. Blaze, I'm jealous of that dude's build too. He is made out of granite.
And man, yeah,
and it's got a sick mustache.
I hate to say this, but I just totally neglected to even notice Brooks in the bracket here. Charles a 7 seed, Brooks Black. Please believe that kid is going to only get better as he gets in college and matures against these bigger guys. But dude, I'll tell you, man, this Medbury area right here, Austin Marsden. I want to pick Marsden in the finals just to not go with the stock 1 pick, but I've always picked Wisdowski.
Wiz, man.
But I've always picked Wiz. So I'm going to stick with Wiz. But man, I just say that something weird is going to happen in that semis match. I'm just going to.
You know what I'm going to miss this year? Seeing Jameel Kelly in Gwiz's corner, best dressed coach in college wrestling.
Yeah, he'll be there though. I'm sure he will.
I'm sure he'll be there. But just thinking about that finals match.
Can you top Jay Jaggers?
That's a different style, man. See, I don't understand.
Best dressed is best dressed. Just because you don't understand it, don't mean you don't have to like it.
I don't understand it. What he wears, I just don't get it. I know it's very fashionable. I know it's very in, and it looks great. But to me, it just makes my brain.
You don't have to say it looks great.
I just don't.
There's a lot of time that goes into it.
I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
Jay Jaggers is one of the funniest guys I've ever been around.
Oh yeah.
And the driest funny. It's not comedy club funny. It's borderline offensive funny, but it's good funny.
Oh yeah, smart guy too.
So who do you got? Who did you pick?
I picked Gwizdowski to win, Wrestling Coon in the finals. I'll tell you another guy I'll tell you to watch out for when you're sitting in there, about 160, Denzel DeJarnett from App State.
Honey tongue to that, bro.
Dude,
DeJarnett
is, first off, phenomenal kid. Just so much fun to be around. Awesome dude. And he's the best athlete in this weight class.
All right.
And I know McMullen's in this weight. Denzel, you're the man. Go get it done, my friend. I got him AA, and he's young buck too. You're gonna see him for a while. Dude's a stud.
Stolfy's got some tools, man. If Telford shows up 257 asleep, Stolfy can make a match out of that.
Stolfy relies on turning a lot of guys.
I agree with you. He's a pinner, but we'll see. Telford keeps it close. Stolfy scores early. It could be a different story. Is that it?
I think it's it.
We kind of blazed through that pretty quick.
I think I was over an hour. I don't think I was real quick.
For the whole thing.
I didn't want to tip it over. I didn't want it to end.
I know.
And guys, sincerely, we appreciate you guys watching these things with us, hanging out when we go do tournaments, seeing us different places. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great, but the worst thing you can be in life is Rocky V.
Just wake up every morning and tell your kids don't be Rocky V. They won't know what it means because it's way past their era, but just so they'll know. But yeah.
And I know we said this was the last one, the very last one ever, but World Championships gets me fired up, dude. So that's what you call a teaser.
Yeah,
in the business.
we just T-bowed it.